during this week of Take 5, we're taking time to consider the meaning of the 7 words that Jesus spoke from the cross. And we're living in a time of great turmoil and worry as we face this global pandemic. And so it's wonderful to have the opportunity to consider the poignant words of Christ from the cross, even into our situation. And today I want to consider 2 of the things Jesus said. The first one happens in John's Gospel as Jesus is dying on the cross, and he sees his mother and friends, including his best friend John. And he speaks from the cross as he's dying for the sins of the world. And he says, "Dear woman, here is your son." We know that the disciples had already deserted him after Gethsemane, and we know that Peter had denied him. So here in this crucifixion scene, we have these final kind of standing witnesses, women, including his mother Mary and John, that best friend. What an utterly desolate scene as they see Jesus, the one they love, the one they've invested so much of their hopes and lives in, hanging, dying on a cross. Perhaps Mary remembered the words of the prophet Simeon, spoken to her when Jesus was just a small child, when he prophesied that this child would be destined to cause the rising and falling of many in Israel. And he warned her that a sword will also pierce your own soul too. Imagine the experience of Mary watching her son dying by crucifixion. Here we're given an insight into the closest earthly relationships that Jesus had as he struggles to take his breath, as he bears the weight of the sins and disappointments and brokenness of the world on his shoulders. He shows love and concern for his mother, for his friend. "Dear woman, here is your son." What a beautiful word about community. Jesus, the Son of God, as he's dying for us, as the love of God is being demonstrated, is instituting a new family, a new community. And he's also saying to his mother, what you feel as you suffer matters to me. What an extraordinary insight into the love of God. Our suffering, our pain isn't just sort of general to him, it's particular. "Dear woman, here is your son." The pain of the losses we face matter to Jesus. Utterly unselfish as he's dying, as he's focusing his physical energy on enduring crucifixion. And then the second statement that he makes, Luke records for us, and Jesus says, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Again, in that statement, we see tremendous empathy, even for those who are causing his suffering. They know not what they do. And we have an extraordinary insight as well into the Trinity. Jesus is calling out to God as Father on the cross. There's no break or breach in the Trinity. There's no sense in which God the Father is not intimately and passionately involved in the work of the cross, caring and loving for the Son and loving the world that Jesus is dying for. Justice and love are both upheld at the cross as Jesus does that work of forgiveness. Father, forgive them. And even as he's paying the price for our sins, he's expiating, carrying away the sins of the world. He's propitiating, bearing the wrath of God, the just anger of God against injustice and wrongdoing. Even as he's doing that, he's caring for those who've caused it, us. They know not what they're doing. Father, forgive them is Father and Son together in that moment of the atonement. So, dear woman, here is your son. Jesus' care for us as human beings, and as we realise our desperate need for community in the lockdown and isolation we're facing, this word from the cross speaks to us. Jesus cares about our suffering, and he cares that we're located in community. And Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. The work of the cross is our forgiveness. The perpetrator receives forgiveness, and even as that is being wrought, Jesus cares. They know not what they do.